Hey there guys, Alexander Lionheart here coming at you with another Wiz vid. I've been getting a few requests for this, well a number of requests in the past, about gear setup and deck setup for both PvP, PvE, all that stuff. So I thought I took the liberty to make a video about it. So let's start with the first PvE. So with PvE, I like to go with the Trader's Wintry Mantle. It's pretty tanky, you get a good amount of damage. Along with that, you get the Unseen Lord's Chill Armor, which is of course a great robe. And along with boots, I like to use my Dark Great's Compelling Boots. As you can see by the stats, these are from the Nightmare Pack, so they might not be available. As for wands, I do like my War Axe of the Old Times because of the amount of damage and power pip chance it offers. So it's pretty helpful for extra damage and they're get 'em goods. Another thing I like to use is the Shadow Spider Sting. It's pretty good damage from Morganth. I do like to use a Life Amulet, an Exalted Life Amulet for soloing, especially. Because, of course, when you're soloing, you can't really just one-shot people and expect to tank like only 5,000 damage. So yeah, I don't have the Gem of the Grand Prophecy just yet, but one day I will. And I like to use the Alpha and Omega Ring, lots of block, good damage, and good incoming. As for pets, I like to use my pet Lord Brutus, which has Brute Defy, and 3 healing talents along with an extra feint, which is pretty darn useful. And of course for decks, I like to use the Deck of Winter Shadows. I could just went ahead and another one. Alright, so let's shift to, well, yeah, hold on. So that is a good PvE setup, and let's not shift to PvP just yet. For our main deck, this may look a little awkward, but usually I just like to carry random shadow spells because, you know, why not? Of course, you want to carry some good amount of satyrs and good amount of attacks along with blades. You always want to carry at least 2 reshuffles. And this side, usually I have like emergency heals, such as satyrs, come in very handy. And power, just so you can get your pips back up. Cleanse, to get rid of any nasty little weaknesses just before your hits. Some bubbles, just in case I can find any. Because in the higher levels of PvE, enemies, the mobs start to bubble. It's not really fun. And extra hits, and also another reshuffle. It's pretty useful because the emergency heals come in quite handy for soloing. It's really good. Sometimes I do like to use Elucidate on my satyrs. It seems I don't have one right now. But their Elucidate satyrs super useful for PvE and PvP, of course, because of the low pip heal. And it's really useful for any dense situation. Now for PvP, we're going to stick with the same hat, robe, and boots, potentially. However, there's another set of boots that I want to get soon. I'm going to flash that up. These boots. Yeah, pretty crazy boots. Hopefully one day I'll get them. They're from the Kieran's Ward pack. So, if you're an Ice Wiz, you always wanted the heavy rain slippers, bam! Those boots, pretty dang good. 13 damage is quite a lot for an ice. Like, look at the ice boots, only 8 damage, only 11. Now, however, I like to use these boots. They're pretty defensible, lots of block, lots of resist. I don't have the 100 one, sadly, and I bet the 100 one will be a lot better. But I do like to use my Royal Fusilier boots if I'm ever feeling confident. If I'm fighting an Ice or Life, an Attorney, I feel confident. Sometimes I may go with the block build and go with the Frostshine slippers. These are really good instead of block boots because it's a bit better. I mean, you lose 16 block, but I don't see that as much of a big deal. Some might see it otherwise, or whatever. Now for wands and PvP, I either use one of 2 things. Lunar Scepter of Anubis or War Axe of the Old Times. It usually depends on my setup. I usually go with block nowadays though because of like how crit meta it is in the arena has been. So the extra box can, the extra block can throw them off, which is pretty nice. As for themes, of course, stick with the same thing. Spiders, Shadow Spider Sting. Ooh, okay. Or Duelist Fatal Razor, if I'm going for a crit build. However, my crit build will not go through unless I'm using the Rakugo boots and I have the Gem of the Grand Prophecy, which is something I don't have. And of course, for amulet, I only use my Exalted Life Amulet. And of course, the Gem of the Grand Prophecy. course, sometimes I may go a little bit more tricky with the Jade Sky Carrier Pendant. However, in most cases I just carry a Life Exalted Amulet. And for Ring, Duelist Daredevil Ring, it is super good. Extra damage, massive armor piercing. It's pretty darn good. As for pets, I like to use Zeus, my Franken Bunny, which is Proof Fairy, Ice Giver, Ice Dealer. I do have another one. That's the same talent, it's an infallible one, gives an Ice Blade, however I don't really use him as much anymore. And then I'm trying to get a few extra stuff. This is a pet that I have, but I'm not really going to use for a while. I might just give it to another wizard, because I only need the enfeeble talent right now. Or the extra resist, I'm more into more damage. Of course, same deck. And as for Ice PvP deck, you want to stick with a very solid deck. You don't want too much clutter. Like, oh, yep, I know that, King Zell. Let me see if I can find some clutter. Like, here, let me just show you what I mean by clutter. See, I don't want a deck that's too cluttered. That has a bunch of random spells that I probably won't even use. I like to have a deck that's clean, but I can find things correctly. I do carry one feint just for if I'm first, or if I feel like I can surely get my feint off from second. I'll use my feint. It's usually a finisher. I do have my Lord of Winter and my King Artorias for extra damage, and Winter Moon, of course, is a great gap closer for battles. Conviction, weakness, Tower Shield, always good to stay on the defensive. Some people are starting to heal again, so I carry a few infections and a Doom. And I carry Colossus and, you know, all that good stuff. I do carry Katabatic Winds, which is pretty nice in case if I ever fight someone with high ice resist, which can be common with Storm and Fire, and possible Jade. As for treasure cards, this is not full. I do like to carry a number of Winter Moons. Oh, like this is in here, I don't need that. It appears I am out of Blizzard. Oh my. It appears I'm not out of Blizzard. Okay, this is what I like to carry. I do like a few AoEs for minions, Frostbite for damage over time, extra Winter Moons for DPS. Lord of Winter, this is usually a Colossal TC one. Ice Birds are good for removing ice shields and also adding an Ice Blade, so it's pretty good. And of course I carry Enfeeble in case of Blade Stackers. Usually I only carry 2 on Y3. And I have a 2-pip Satyr there just in case. They're super useful and they can change the tide of any fight easily. And I used to carry Auroras, but I don't really like it anymore, but I guess you can carry one. And Black Mantle is a good way to stall. And pretty much the same deck you use as the deck with Shadows. So, and this is my outfit, as you guys may know. And I usually carry the Elixir Vitae badge as some extra info. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. Where is it? There you are. Elixir Vitae. So, that is the long-awaited gear setup video guide that I guess now is a good time to make because people have asked it on Twitch. Sometimes on comments they ask what kind of gear you use, what's your deck setup, and there you go. I hope this helps you, and yeah, so if you have a nice wizard, I hope this deck setup helps you. Pretty sure you can alter this deck around a bit with other school spells, yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to see more Wiz vids, of course, I'm going to always upload them. You know, you can always like the vid, subscribe to keep in touch with everything. Of course, I do have Twitch too, so I do upload on here to tell you when I'm uploading on Twitch, or I mean, live streaming on Twitch, which is usually PvP requesting. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and goodbye.